The Legislative Black Caucus is one of several caucuses in the legislature. Originally, it was founded in 1977 by 9 members. Today, we actually have 33 members, 24 reps and 9 senators. Basically, our fundamental purpose is one is to actually ensure that social policy that comes out of Louisiana is truly social and economic justice for all citizens. But in those instances where we have systemic exclusions that may exist, we want to focus in particularly on African Americans who are born in Louisiana. So the caucus is there to ensure that we have a level playing field with all social policy that comes out.
The Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Foundation is the arm of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, which helps to raise money for projects that the caucus likes to put on. And that in particular is scholarships for our young people to be able to go to college or even scholarships in high school. So we have functions such as this, which is our 33rd jazz brunch that we've held in the state of Louisiana for the Bayou Classic to be able to have raise money and award scholarships to young people. But the foundation raises money not only for these kinds of events, but to make sure that projects like economic development, healthcare, that when we put on projects like that, the money is there for those projects as well. And I'm so pleased to be able to chair the foundation this year.
This is the biggest fundraiser for the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus and the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Foundation. Every year we come in to raise funds so that other children can have opportunity to go to college. This is our scholarship brunch, and we provide scholarship to young teenagers going on to college.
I am always excited to give scholarships to students because I work at a university and I know the importance of having the funds that you need to participate in the educational arena. And so this is an opportunity to provide scholarships for the students at Southern University and at Grambling. And it's just a delight to read their essays and see the top-notch work that they're doing at their universities. So we look forward to this every year. And it's a wonderful thing. The students are going to be here with their families, and this is what we work so hard for.
I just enjoy coming down, and of course this is the 33rd annual Jazz Brunch. And I just want to tell people what I appreciate what they're doing for the state of Louisiana in terms of higher education, but particularly these 2 HBCUs. Which means so much to our state and really to our nation when you look at their following. This great group of people and the support that they have across Louisiana, and with so many alumni who come back to Louisiana from all over the country, today is a really, really special day.
This year, the Bayou Classic Jazz Brunch Committee decided to present LLBC Chairman's Award to 2 noteworthy individuals and trailblazing pioneers that have committed their life to public service, civil rights, and community activism. Since this is our first year presenting these 2 awards, we thought it was appreciative and appropriate to present such an award to 2 deserving individuals known for making several historical firsts. On behalf of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus and the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Foundation, it is our extreme honor to present the first LLBCF Award, Chairman's Award, to Attorney Johnnie A. Jones, Sr.
Attorney Jones is known as a civil rights attorney, NAACP activist, veteran, but most of all a Southern University alumnus. He was born in 1919, and he'll be 98 next week. Wow. In Laurel Hills, Louisiana. And he developed a passion for law at a very early age. He attended Southern University Lab, Southern High School, Southern University, and Southern University School of Law, which makes him a true byproduct of the Southern system, which has certainly played an integral part in preparing him for a lifetime career in public service and activism. Attorney Jones served in the United States Army during World War II, and we just recognized him on Veterans Day as well, and was a decorated veteran serving in D-Day and the Battle of the Bulge. After his time of service, he returned back to SU and completed his undergrad degree in 1949 in psychology and obtained his Juris Doctorate degree in 1953. Attorney Jones has been a prominent figure in leading with various desegregation cases and been at the forefront of the historic civil rights struggle at its peak. During 1953, Attorney Jones served as legal counsel for the Baton Rouge boycott and 1960 sit-in at the Crest lunch counter in downtown Baton Rouge, which is a case that was later heard by the U.S. Supreme Court and ruled in favor of the students involved. In '72, he became one of the first 5 African-American members of the Louisiana State House of Representatives in District 67. You reminded me of that. Yeah, and served as the first African-American assistant parish attorney for East Baton Rouge Parish. Attorney Jones has received numerous awards for his lifetime of service and leadership, including being inducted into the Southern University School of Law Hall of Fame. He's also a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. On behalf of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus and the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Foundation, it is with proud honor to present this year's 2017 LLBCF Chairman's Award to civil rights icon, Attorney Johnnie Jones, Sr.
Thank you very much. You know, there's nothing I know better than going up on the bluff to school. I went from high school through college and through the law school at the bluff. It was a pleasure to sit on the side of the bluff and watch the river flow by, while at the same time I saw the weeping willows. One was crying and one was feeding the other. The riverside served food and education. The type of education you could not have gotten any other place in the world other than at Southern University. I love Southern University because I found my way there. From there I went to the military, became a warrant officer, and from there I came back and finished from Southern University in psychology and philosophy. Nothing could afford me the type of education that I've gotten from any other place than from a place like Southern University. I seen the weeping willow, and I saw the river go by, crying and tears all the time. One feed the other. We must always think in terms of what we can contribute as much as we can take. We must give and we must take. The river gave. The weeping willow cried when the river was down low. We sat on the bluff and watched the river go by. Some of us studied hard and listened to Dr. J.S. Clark tell us what to do, telling us that he was reminded of a fellow one day who wanted to go to see his girlfriend in Memphis, Tennessee. When he told that joke, he said there was two sets of seating on the train. One for those who had the tan like I have. There was other who had the winter snow like in the northern part of Norway. When he got there, he said there was no place for him on the seats where those who look like me. The fellow said, I have a girlfriend in Tennessee. I have a mother in heaven. I have a father. I know not where he is, but I'm going to see one of them tonight. What do you think the man say, come on, you can ride. So that's a seat. So my advice to anyone or everybody, that you should not sit down and watch and pass on to the next generation that which you can do yourself.
All right. Amen.
I never took a back seat. I stood up from Ku Klux Klan to see the black in the White House. On each one of those roles, I played a part. If I had to go to another school, I would go to Southern University. Because I remember what Dr. Clark, J.S. Clark, told us, one of y'all I'm going to see tonight.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Our second Chairman Award goes to Judge Faith Jenkins, AKA Judge Faith. Judge Faith started her legal career in New York in the litigation group at Sidley Austin. After 5 years as a commercial litigator, she became a prosecutor at the Manhattan District Attorney's Office. As a prosecutor, Judge Faith handled hundreds of criminal cases and was the lead attorney in numerous jury trials. She is known for her legal and social commentary on television. Prior to her signing on as a legal analyst exclusively with MSNBC, she has appeared regularly on CNN, Fox News, and HLN to analyze the nation's most profile cases and legal issues. During the George Zimmerman's trial in Florida, she analyzed the trial daily on all 3 major news networks. She appeared nightly from jury selections to verdict on MSNBC's Political Nation to discuss witness testimony and opined on the trial's overall progress each day. Originally from Louisiana, Judge Faith graduated with a bachelor's degree in political science from Louisiana Tech University, where she was named Miss Louisiana Tech and was the first African-American woman to hold this title. She also holds a Juris Doctor degree from Southern University Law School, where she ranked #1 in her law class. In 2000, she went on to become Miss Louisiana and represent the state in the Miss America pageant, where she was first runner-up to Miss America. Currently, Faith Jenkins is the host of Judge Faith, a nationally televised court TV show now entering its 4th season. It is with great honor and my privilege to present this year's 2017 LLBC Chairman's Award to Judge Faith Jenkins. Let's give her a hand as she comes forward. And Judge Faith is also going to give out her SU Law Student Scholarship Award during her thank you speech.
Thank you so much. It's nice to meet you. Thank you. Hi. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for having me, to the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus and to the Chancellor of the Law School, John Pierre, and to Cynthia Buggage for inviting me. It is such a pleasure and honor to be here. How are you? It's so good to see you. I was here a long time ago. I was Miss Louisiana in 2000, and that was the first Bayou Classic I ever attended. So, and I remember you were here. You're now President Gallo, but you were attorney back then. That was 17 years ago. I was 8, but you were much older. And I was the reigning Miss Louisiana and traveling the state, and that was the last Bayou, the first and only Bayou Classic that I attended. So here we are 17 years later, and I can't believe it. What a journey it has been. And I have 2 scholarships. How are you? I have 2 scholarships today that I want to present. They told me that this was a scholarship luncheon, and it's important to me to continue to support my law school where I got my education. And so I wanted to contribute to the scholarships for the students today. So I'm awarding $2,000 scholarships to 2 law students, Raymond Wilkes and Brianna Golden. They are both current students at Southern's Law Center. They're both 2L second years. So they're basically going to disappear after this luncheon to study for final exams. So I'm very happy that they were able to break away from their studies to be here today, because when I was in school, I really didn't have Thanksgiving or holidays. We studied throughout because we had the finals afterwards. And you know how it is. So I appreciate you guys for being here. Brianna, thank you. Congratulations for all of your hard work. And Raymond, that's for you. Thank you. Congratulations for all your hard work. And I just want to say a couple of things to the students and a lot of the young people that are here today. I live in Los Angeles now. When I graduated from law school, I moved to New York and I worked for a big law firm. And you heard a little bit about my journey. I live in Los Angeles now, where I tape the show. The last 17 years, I can't believe it's taken me 17 years to come back here and be with you, but the last 17 years, everyone has their share of ups and downs. And they were asking me before I got up here, what advice would I be able to give them about their journey going forward now that it's been a while since I finished school. And there are 2 things that I thought is very important to share with both of you and everyone here today. The first is, you can never allow people to define who you are when those people did not create you. The only person that defines who you are is the person who created you. And the second thing is, you have to have the courage to walk into rooms that are bigger than you. I heard T.D. Jakes talk about this lately, but you have to have the courage to walk into rooms and be with people where you're afraid you may say the wrong thing. Are you wearing the right thing? Are you going to be okay in the conversation? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. So you have to have the courage to put yourself into places that you believe are bigger than you, because it forces you to grow. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you really want to go on and achieve new heights in your life. Because that's what I did. I never had a job where I was comfortable. I never had a job where I felt I was really smart enough to be there. But I was there, and I put myself there, and I knew that I would work hard. And as a result, I'm going to tell you something. I'm living my dream, a dream that I never imagined, a place I never imagined I would be 17 years ago. When I was Miss Louisiana, I just wanted to go back and finish law school and have a good job, as my mom said. Just go out, work hard, have a good job, and that's great. But now to be able to represent my state my city, my school, on national television every day. I'm like the younger version of Judge Judy. And so that's an amazing experience for me. And I couldn't do it without the support of so many people. One of my professors, who's now the Chancellor, John Pierre, is here, and I'm sure others. And so I want to wish best of luck to both of you, to all the students here today. And I just want to say thank you, because when we give thanks, we realize that our lives are gifts, not achievements. So thank you to all of you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for this award.
This award is presented in the name of Louisiana's greatest civil rights leader, one of Louisiana's greatest civil rights leaders, the Reverend Avery Alexander. We honor his legacy as a lawmaker and member of the House of Representatives by giving this award to Attorney Ron Wilson. Attorney Wilson has played a key role in virtually every civil rights legal victory in the state of Louisiana over the past 25 years. After graduating from Tulane Law School, Ron, as I call him, hasn't been guided by charting an exclusive course of privilege and position for himself. He took the more challenging role of employing his legal skills and ability to secure the equal rights for minorities in the state of Louisiana. Currently, Attorney Wilson is a cooperating attorney with the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, handling primarily employment and voting rights cases, and he also worked with the American Civil Liberties Union. He was counsel and attorney of record in the landmark Chisholm versus Roma case. Those of you who are attorneys will remember this case. This case drastically increased the number of black judges in the state of Louisiana. He was also one of the attorneys in the recent landmark voting rights case, Scott versus Tom Shedler. Attorney Wilson's legal skills have played a vital role in changing the political landscape for blacks in Louisiana. There's no better individual to receive the Avery C. Alexander Civil Rights Award than Attorney Ron Wilson.
Good afternoon. Well, I'd like to thank the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus for humbling me and honoring me with this award. When I think of some of the things I've done, they pale in comparison to what Attorney Jones has done. And I think that when I finished law school back in so long ago, 1975, I thought I would become a tax attorney. I thought I wanted to do something entirely different. I thought that we had gone beyond the day of race discrimination. I was naive enough to believe that, until one day I faced discrimination in applying for an apartment in New Orleans without even asking me what my credentials were, if I could afford the apartment, if I had gone to school in the place. 7 different apartments I applied for at a rental agency. I was told that all had been rented, just rented before I walked into the real estate office. A friend of mine from law school, from Tulane's law school, went back a half an hour after I was there, and he was told that all 7 were available. At that point in time, the realization hit home that racism and discrimination had not ended and would not end for a long time. I think you have to understand that, unlike today's football game where there is a halftime, in the battle for civil rights, there is no halftime. Racism doesn't sleep, discrimination doesn't sleep, injustice doesn't sleep. We have to remain vigilant. We have to stay in this fight. I oftentimes think about the Portuguese West Africans and the war for liberation. Win, lose, or draw, they would always say, la luta continua, which means that the battle continues. Win, lose, or draw, we have to remember that the battle continues, and as we see today, it has gotten more intense. We cannot fall asleep. We have to remember that there's a struggle out there, and we have to dedicate ourselves, we have to commit ourselves to this ongoing struggle. I've been doing civil rights litigation for 42 years. Instead of things getting better, on some fronts they've gotten worse. We see now in the case that we're handling, in which we just won the voting rights case in Terrebonne Parish, the defendants have hired one of the most racist law firms in the country. They specialize in vote dilution, there's a law firm in North Carolina that represents the Republican Party in North Carolina. They have been hired by the Attorney General of Louisiana to come in and represent the state to set aside our victory in the Terrebonne Parish case. It shows the lengths to which people will go to deny you your rights. We have to remain vigilant and remain on top of all of these situations. Remember, the Portuguese said, Portuguese West Africans, La luta continua, the battle continues. Again, thank you very much.
It is with great pleasure that the LLBCF Pinkie Wilkerson Humanitarian Award is given to Maxine CRUMP. From humble beginnings, a strong-willed young woman from Maringouin, Louisiana, put all the right tools in her toolbox and started her quest to change attitudes and hearts related to race relations. Being a connoisseur of race relations, Maxine has dedicated her time and energy to the nonprofit Dialogue on Race Louisiana, which she is the CEO, providing education for the elimination of racism. Its motto is, take action. Maxine's passion for providing historical information on race relations has given her the unique opportunity to speak in diverse venues on race. In taking the helm of the mantle on issues dealing with race relations, Maxine has displayed enormous courage in undertaking these challenging and much-needed discussions. When asked what stands out in her mind as proud moments during her journey, her answer is, the rewards I received that made me feel proud and honored were the ones that took courage. So it's with great pleasure that I present the Pinkie Wilkerson Humanitarian Award to Ms. Maxine CRUMP.
The Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, all of you, particularly the millennials, it's really great to be here for this awesome recognition and to be among people from all over the country who have been a part of both these great state universities, and to be with the other award recipients. It's quite an honor, especially when I learned about Pinkie C. Wilkerson and what a humanitarian she is or was, and the exemplary service of human rights. It is Pinkie Wilkerson and others like her and Johnnie Jones whose shoulders I stand on when I do the work with Dialogue on Race Louisiana, the work of ending racism. Very often people say, making things better. The language I use is ending racism. We have come far enough now because of people who laid such foundations of making it clear that racism exists. And Representative Ron Wilson should never have gotten to college without knowing that every time he rides across a bridge on an interstate, he's riding across a racist structure. Because those interstates that were bridged over, the state had to apply for matching funds. And as part of that request, part of that application, they had to say why they bridged over the area. And in each case, across the country, the answer was, those are undesirable areas. And who lived in those undesirable areas were people of color. So I don't want anybody to leave out of here thinking they hadn't experienced racism until the door was actually directly closed in their faces. Our interstate itself is a structure from the past that was legally put there, but it never was right. And that every time we ride across it, the past is intruding into our current lives. So yes, racism is continuing with us. And so we work to say out loud what racism is and where we see it. I have an Uncle Earl. One day he'd talk out loud reflectively. And he said, as he's out loud talking, reflective message. He said, "Why don't we say what we mean?" He said, "I was at a lady's house the other day, and she said, 'Would you like some coffee?' And I said, 'Yeah, I'll take a little coffee.' She said, 'What will you have in it?' I said, 'A little sugar, a little cream.' He said, 'Now, why did I say that? When I know I like plenty sugar and plenty cream in my coffee. Why don't we say what we mean?" So thank you, Uncle Earl, for that message, because it's the message that I use. Say what we mean. We've learned, we have a structured narrative in our society today to talk around things and to use polite words to say things. There's nothing polite about living with racism, and we don't need polite words to talk about it. So we the people say what kind of country we want to live in. And in Dialogue on Race, which is the core program of Dialogue on Race Louisiana, we open a safe space to speak openly and honestly and bravely. We get clear on what is the status of where we are and where we need to be. Very often, people look at the status of where we are and we say how far we've come. We go beyond that and we say, where do we need to be, and are we where we need to be? And if we're not, then something's in the way, because all Americans should have full access to all institutions fully, and that should be assured. You too will have the opportunity to join and say what you mean. There's nothing like being able to sit in the safety of a group of about 15 people. We keep our group small so that everyone can have a chance to talk. And in that small process, people find that they get to say things they've never said to anyone, because we often hear it. I'm saying something I've never said to anybody, they say. And when we hear that, we know the space is safe. And they really do say what they mean. And no, we're not preaching to the choir, which people ask all the time. But I've never understood why the choir didn't need preaching anyway. But we don't preach to the choir. People find that they speak openly and honestly. And I appreciate Ron Wilson for being open enough to admit he did not know that he was experiencing racism until the door closed in his face. And I also appreciate Johnny Jones for saying, don't have other people do for you what you can do for yourself. And our motto, as I appreciate hearing take action, our motto really is talk is action. And the kind of talk that we offer in our Dialogue on Race series is a structured, facilitated, formatted process backed by factual material in 6 2-hour sessions. And that series, when people come out of there, they usually say they're empowered with a language and an understanding that they didn't have. And there's usually, a lot of things, but when you put it in this focused process, it makes a difference. And so as a result, we have now opened a charter in Shreveport, and we're opening one in Mississippi in the spring, and we'll be visiting Alabama in January, looking forward to opening a charter there. We're spreading it to other states, and we don't want Louisiana left out. So continue to be a part of it, so when people tell you it's in their state, you can say, it was in ours first, and I've been a part of it. Say what you mean. Talk is action. Thank you, Representative Smith, for nominating me.
Good afternoon. The Charles R. Hudson Award is awarded to those with the ability to envision a brighter, more positive future for their communities. The award was created in honor of former State Representative Charles Hudson, who was a dedicated member of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus. This year's recipient is also a visionary leader, local attorney, and a former state legislator. A former member of the legislature, Attorney W. James Singleton, established a reputation for several noteworthy contributions through the span of his legal and legislative career. Upon finishing law school, Attorney Singleton established his own solo practice and was elected to the Caddo Parish Police Jury in 1976. He also served in the Louisiana legislature as a state representative for District 3 from 1983 to 1996.
Attorney Singleton was instrumental in contributing to the creation of minority districts to promote the election of minorities to serve as the state court judges in Louisiana. He also worked in various capacities, serving on several Louisiana boards of committees. In addition, other noteworthy achievements of Attorney Singleton's are serving as a former assistant to State Attorney General, establishing a law office in Shreveport, with office in New Orleans, Houston, and in 2017 was named as a member of the Super Lawyers of 2017, who helped protect the environment of consumers. It is with great honor that I present to the 2017 Charles Hudson Award recipient, to Attorney Willie Singleton. Unfortunately, Mr. Singleton is not going to be able to attend today. He is under the weather a little bit, and his doctor has asked him, because he's on medication, not to travel. So at this particular time, if it is okay with our chairman, I would like to, and the members, I would like to take this opportunity and present this award to none other than to Attorney Jenkins. To Attorney Jenkins, on behalf of Mr. Singleton, he was the one presented his name, and I think would be more than fitting to allow him to receive this award and to carry it back to him with my love as well. Thank you.
What a distinguished honor, Grambling State University Legend Award. RENEE Hall is the 29th Chief of Police for the city of Dallas, Texas. She is the first woman in history to hold this prestigious position. Chief Hall is an accomplished and highly dedicated law enforcement executive with more than 18 years of experience, including 12 years working at the management and executive levels of the organization. Chief Hall began her career in the city of Detroit with a community of approximately 700,000 people, 3,100 employees. During her tenure in Detroit, she commanded the largest bureau in the organization with more than 2/3 of the total employees, with a budget of over $137 million. Under Chief Hall's directions of enforcement, the department experienced a 40% low in homicides and double-digit reduction in violent crimes. In addition, she also served on the executive team that facilitated the successful completion of the Detroit Police Department's consent judgment involving the use of force and conditions of confinement. Chief Hall was instrumental in creating community policing and mentor programs in the city of Detroit that helped to develop and foster partnerships between police officers, community members, and business entities. These programs were nominated by the Department of Justice and Justice Awards.
Chief Hall is a graduate of Grambling State University with a Bachelor of Science degree in criminal justice. She also holds 2 master's degrees from the University of Detroit Mercer in security administration and intelligence analysis. To add to her educational accomplishment, Chief Hall is a graduate from the FBI National Academy and the Major Cities Chief Police Executive Leadership Institute. She is also a member of the International Association of Chiefs of Police and was recently appointed Special Assistant to the President of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives. Other honors to her name: Chief Hall was honored as one of Michigan's Chronicle Women of Excellence and Woman of the Decade by the native Detroit magazine. As we are celebrating first, Chief RENEE Hall is certainly making her mark in history for others to follow with her exemplary, no-nonsense but compassionate leadership style and leading with excellence in the field of law enforcement. Thus, always willing to go over and beyond the call of duty to protect and to serve. It is my honor to present the LLBC Legend Award to Grambling State University, RENEE Hall.
Congratulations.
To the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus, I just want to say thank you so very much. I am so humbled and so blessed to be in this space, and I know that it is not by accident. I have been chosen by God for a time such as this. I just want to acknowledge Dr. Gallo, our president of Grambling State University. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. We don't always know why God leads us to a path. I can't tell you why he chose Grambling State University for me, but I can tell you now that I've come full circle. The theme of this brunch, bold dreams and big victories, he has allowed that in my life. Grambling State University taught me to have bold dreams where everybody is somebody. And each and every single day of my life, I have tried to live God's vision and dream really big and have bold dreams. And I just pray that what I am doing in this time that is directed by God is an inspiration to minority women all over this country, especially Black women. Law enforcement is now and has always been predominantly white male. So to be a police chief in the city of Dallas, the first Black female chief, is an honor and a privilege. And I know that my responsibilities are great. God does not give us gifts for ourselves. They're to be a gift to others. And Attorney Jenkins, I am uncomfortable in this space so that I know that I am doing God's work. So I just want to ask you to continue to pray my strength in God, because I know it's going to be very difficult in this space because I'm up against some challenges that I would not have selected for myself. But because I have been selected for this time, they will be great. But I have been given the gift to be able to accomplish them. So I just want to say thank each and every one of you. Dr. Bolton, I do want to recognize Southern University. I also want to take the time to acknowledge Chief Harrison, New Orleans Police Department. Honored to be here in your presence as well. I do want to say one thing. Somebody said that, I think it was Dr. Bolton, that the sun smiled on Southern. Well, God's presence is with Grambling State University. So we'll know how this will end. Just want to say, as I walk away from the podium, each and every one of you, it is our responsibility as Black people. We know the struggle continues, so we must continue to have bold dreams so our victories can be large. Thank you so very much.
Making a significant mark at Southern University in Jaguar history of baseball, Roger Kadar has been a part of the Southern University program for nearly 50 years. He played his collegiate ball for the Jaguars from 1970 to 1973 before returning as an assistant coach in 1978 after his time playing in the Atlanta Brave organization. In 1984, Mr. Kadar was officially named the head coach of Southern University. During his tenure as head coach, he was made many notable contributions, including, and he holds the distinction of being the first coach of a historically Black university to win a game in the NCAA tournament when his 1987 Southern Jaguars upset then number 2 ranked Cal State Fullerton 1-0 in the Southern Regional Playoffs. I umpired that game, by the way. In addition, his Jaguars also became the first HBCU to win an NCAA playoff play-in game, when they defeated Austin Peay to win that game in 1996. During his baseball program's tenure, he left a career record of 913 wins, 597 losses, and 1 tie. I don't know how you tie in baseball, but they tied. And that was all done within 30 seasons. 14 SWAC championships, 11 NCAA tournament appearances, 10 All-Americans, 3 NCAA regional wins, and 62 players drafted into the major leagues.
As a former student athlete and Southern University graduate, Coach Roger Cador received his Bachelor of Science degree in Health and Physical Education in 1975 and a Master's degree in Guidance and Counseling in 1979. After having a long and successful professional career and coaching career in baseball at Southern University, Coach Cador retired at the end of the 2017 baseball season and took on a newly created position as Director of Athletics Advancement at the university. Cador's dedications to his student athletes is seen in his having over 94 former players sign professional contracts or establish a career in other aspects of the game, such as scouting, coaching, and umpiring. As a pillar in Southern University's baseball history, Coach Cador has built the program to what it is today, utilizing his connections within Major League Baseball and the Baton Rouge community. He has also used his fundraising skills to help build both Lee Hines Field Stadium and the baseball field house, which will be renamed in his honor as the Cador Baseball Operations Center. When asked his greatest accomplishment, Cador says, "It is the approximate 80% graduation rate. It is the people I've been able to help and grow with. It is the kids society have given up on as a lost cause, and we turned it around and we worked it out together." Cador is a member of the Southern University Athletics Hall of Fame. It is with great pride and honor to present this year's 2017 Southern University Legend Award to Coach Roger Cador.
Oh, my goodness. Dr. Carpenter, thanks the Legislative Black Caucus and all the other wonderful people who are here tonight, well, this afternoon. It feels like tonight. It's been a tough, long weekend for me. But just want to say thanks. It's been a great run. No one ever could have dreamed and put this together, what have happened to me in my coaching career and just in my life. When you think about a young man that didn't get to start living until I was 14 years old. Life really didn't start. I couldn't read, I couldn't write, I literally couldn't even walk. And life began, and not giving up, understanding what your shortcomings are and then attacking them. You see, so many people don't want to be told about their shortcomings. They rather create a crutch, but I understood I had them, and I worked diligently to make sure that I overcame them. So by working extremely hard, I was able to play the catch-up game. The catch-up game is a difficult game to play, especially if you're in athletics. You have to do things harder. You got to run faster. You can't make mistakes. And so I was able to do that and make things work. And I had a lot of good people on the way up that ladder that took me under their wings and helped me. Southern University was one of them. The wonderful teachers there understood my shortcoming, and they gave me the opportunity to play the catch-up game, the extra work, the extra counseling. That's what it's all about. And by doing that, I was able to graduate, get a master's degree, and to work 39 wonderful years at Southern and have a relationship for 47 years with Southern University. You know, I see some wonderful young man, Rusty Ponton, who is a Grambling man now, but I coached that young man and given opportunities. See, the thing is, I remember someone gave me an opportunity, and I remember when that young man didn't have a room and I found him a room. And look at him, he's a wonderful young man today, and that's what we have to do, make sure we give kids opportunity, because they need them more today than they've ever needed them. They need them more. They don't have the guidance we had. They don't have that village who raised the kid anymore. So let's make sure we work hard to it. And schools like Southern and Grambling is there for them. Don't talk Southern and Grambling down, talk us up. And get those kids there where we could help them. So I just want to say this is really a great privilege for me. I've had a lot of honors. I've spoke to all over this United States and internationally. It's always difficult for me to speak about myself. When I'm speaking about things that benefit others, I'm a lot better. But I'm a lot cautious when I have to speak about myself because it's not about me. God put me here for a reason. Because why else would I be here? After what I went through, most kids give up. They don't take that abuse. But he made sure my DNA was in the right place and that I was going to be the guy that was going to carry the torch, take the abuse, help people, not think about myself, and just keep doing the right thing. And that's my benefit. So let me just say thank you, thank you, thank you.
This year, we've received over 20 student essays. The scholarship recipients embody the values, drive, and dedication it takes to succeed in higher education. The first Pay Scholarship Award honor goes to Miss Trinity Taylor of Southern University. Please come forward to accept this reward.
This next scholarship program was jointly created by the Office of the Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus Foundation and the Black Caucus Scholarship Committee. And I present the second place award to Mr. Nathan Morrison, who will be graduating from senior from Southern University. Mr. Morrison, please come forward and accept your award.
Our final award on this evening goes to a very distinguished young woman who represents her university in a very dynamic way. So on this evening, we'd like to present our third place award to Ms. Jasmine Mitchell of Grambling State University. Please come forward.
In addition to the LLBC and LLBCF scholarships that are awarded each year, this year we have decided to add another awardee category to the program. In keeping with the mission and ultimate goals of the LLBC and LLBC Foundation to ensure that all goals of the LLBC and LLBC Foundation students academically excel and achieve their goals, both the LLBC and the LLBC Foundation has chosen to acknowledge another group of students that have experienced various challenges in life.
These particular students have aged out of the foster care system and are currently enrolled in both Southern University and Grambling State University. However, despite the challenges these students have encountered, they have displayed tremendous courage and self-determination in pursuing their educational purpose and goal. That is awesome. Let's give them a hand of applause. I had the opportunity to hear them in committee, and let me tell you, my life would never be the same. Representative James.
And for these reasons, it is our pleasure to acknowledge, support, and encourage continued success for the following 4 individuals with a $500 scholarship award. The first one, Jarvis Spearman. Jarvis is a senior at Grambling State University majoring in social work. He entered the foster care system at the age 7 and aged out at 18. Currently, Jarvis serves on several foster care task force committees while also working at independent living in hopes of giving back. Jarvis is also the regional president of the Louisiana Youth Leadership Advisory Council and a life skills specialist at Methodist Children's Home. In his testimony before the Louisiana Senate Select Committee on Women and Children, Jarvis had an opportunity to educate members on an issue close to his heart: homelessness amongst foster youth aging out of the system. Jarvis aspires to one day open a home where unwanted children may come to get a sense of belonging. It is great honor that we present this scholarship to Mr. Jarvis Spearman for his work ethic, his dedication to pursuing his educational goals, and most importantly, his commitment to helping others.
Danshawn Jenkins is a senior at Southern University Baton Rouge campus, majoring in interdisciplinary studies. Hailing from the city of New Orleans, Danshawn is 23 years old and has had a long journey with the foster care system. Due to a tragic family incident, Danshawn and his siblings were separated from their mother and split up into 4 different foster care homes. After going to live with a friend of the family, DanShawn attended Eisenhower Elementary School and developed a love for football, which also became a positive outlet that eventually got him a scholarship to play football at De La Salle High School. Upon graduation from high school, DanShawn attended New Mexico Military Institution in Roswell, New Mexico, obtaining an associate's degree in arts. Later, DanShawn would go on to attend Southern University A&M College to play football and focus on his studies. He plans to graduate in May of 2018. It is our honor to present this scholarship award to Mr. DanShawn Jenkins for his tenacity, his perseverance in overcoming some of life's toughest obstacles. Please join me in a round of applause for DanShawn Jenkins.
Our third recipient, Nelijah Williams, currently attending Southern University New Orleans campus and majoring in psychology. She aged out of the foster care system as a junior in high school and has been independent since the age of 18. Despite the challenges that she has experienced from being homeless for 14 months and not having a stable place to live, she has managed to find employment, an apartment, stay on track with her studies, hold an internship, graduate on time from high school, and eventually enroll in SUNO. She is actively engaged on SUNO's campus with various activities such as student government and the winner of Miss SUNO. She is expected to graduate in December of 2018. It is with great honor that we present this scholarship to Ms. Williams for all of her hard work and being an overcomer and academic high achiever. Lastly, we would also like to acknowledge and give a special thank you to Judge Madeline Landrew and Laura Alexander of the Louisiana Institute for Children and Families and Joy Bruce with CASA of New Orleans, and a special thanks to former State Representative Charmaine Marchand for her assistance. We appreciate all that you do for children that have aged out of the foster care system. Again, many thanks on behalf of the LLBC and the LLBC Foundation. We have, last but certainly not least, State of Louisiana Legislative Black Caucus hereby extends its heartiest congratulations to Deja Blunt as a 2017 Louisiana Black Caucus Foster Care Scholarship recipient.
Our young people are faced with so many difficulties and challenges when it comes to paying tuition for school, books, and all of those things. And you know, they all leave with a lot of debt when they leave school. So the most important thing is this is just a step in helping them along the way, that they don't have that kind of expense when they leave college or while they're in college. So we try to help them out whenever we can and however we can.